Guess we should start the meeting. Sit in. Thank you, sir. You yell at the firehouse or something.
I give my magnifying glass. Okay, thank you.
All right, we'll begin the meeting with the pledge of allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First order of business is last meeting's minutes. Motion to accept.
I'll make a motion.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Oh, yeah, I wasn't here either. Oh, sorry.
Can I question the minutes? Because I was trying to watch the meeting last week and then the audio died out.
Yeah, we had problems with it.
What was the question?
I just wanted, there was a discussion, open discussion right at the end or the beginning. I'm not sure about the proposed changes to the fence code. Just wanted to recap on that. What was the discussion for, why, and what are the proposed amendments, I guess?
Well, the proposed amendments are still in the works. We haven't submitted anything to the town board yet. We're trying to get a consensus from the zoning board to submit to the town board for, are you looking for what was proposed?
Correct, yeah. I just want to know what the items of the punch list was.
We have it here, but again, it's a work in progress. If you want to look at it.
I guess, is it public or whatever? Can make a copy of it? Or will it be?
Oh, we have copies
Will
of
it be
it.
published?
We have copies of it.
So we're not the ones who adopted.
No, yeah, no, I was curious because I was trying to listen to the tape and there was no audience.
You're
It's
fine.
okay. I'll be the alternate. Sorry.
Good?
Okay, I'm good.
Okay, very good. All right. Next order of business. Excuse me. This is a public hearing for 4 William Street, Mr. Dan Sanchez.
Yes, Dan Sanchez, owner of 4 William Street, just looking to put a small raised ranch on that piece of property. Make it fit into the neighborhood the best possible. We ended up, I haven't even got a chance to look at the maps myself, but I know we did make an adjustment. If your back was to William Street, we moved the house to the left, I believe 5 feet, to make the setbacks on the right side a little bit more favorable for the lot. It's kind of what we're looking for, to make it look like it belongs there with the rest of the house.
I went by there today.
Yeah.
How far back do you own? Do you own to that hillside where there's a road that comes down?
Yes.
Okay.
So, are you just in the application?
Little shed back there on the side of the door.
And that's yours?
To be honest with you, I'm not even sure about that.
Okay.
The front. So the front is still 46 feet off the road, off the
Yes.
front line.
I think the front and back, we tried to make them as close as possible. And then I think the only adjustment from the last map was we did move it to the left, and I believe it's like 25 feet or something on the left side now.
Yeah, it looks like
Maybe
it's
35 feet or something.
Drawing, it looks like they're almost within almost a meter variance.
Do we have any public comment? Concerns?
So this is our zone, right? And it's a quarter acre lot. 2 acres. I
Yeah,
understand
that's
that's a lot of.
0.285, yeah. Of course, the real rub here is basically a corner lot. So it's in, major variances here on the right side.
Oh, okay, so we got,
Basically, I'm sorry, Stanton and Williams.
so,
They only need 50 feet on the north side.
This Stanton, that's more just looks like a driveway there, isn't it?
Yeah, it's more or less a driveway on
There's
the
only
right
one house
side.
up there, right?
Yeah, there's only one house up in the back there.
Does the town
It's a
take
dirt
care of it?
road. I'm not sure if they do or not. I think they probably do.
One on the zoning map is
Part
a
of
town
the
road.
Part of the way. They take care of something.
And where are you proposing your driveway to be? Will it come out onto Williams?
Yes, we're not to Williams, yes.
Part of the way.
Right here, right on the very corner there, but it's actually drawn in as a town.
Just a little bit,
That is,
probably only the size of that lot.
yeah.
the concern is that, I mean, I understand it's a lot of record, but we have to, there's a lot of things that aren't on here, but, so we would have to have a variance for the minimum lot area size, for the minimum lot width, at the front setback twice, plus the.
You don't have to do it for the lot size. Because it's an existing lot structure. They are permitted to build, assuming they can build within setbacks. They can ask you for variances to be allowed to build slightly or whatever outside of the minimum setbacks. But the lot itself, we don't need to grant the variance for the lot itself. And
Or the lot width.
what's that?
Is it or the lot width at the front setback? So that's supposed to be 150 feet in, on this map. It's 100 in one direction and 120 in the other.
Saying grandfather is grandfather. Existing lot of
Yeah,
record.
the lot can't get any bigger, so that, yeah.
Right.
No, I mean, I understand that
Yeah.
it's,
So the lot width, no matter where he puts the house, the lot width isn't gonna change, so you're okay on that one. Unless it's a triangle, but in this case, it's not.
Well, do we have any comments or concerns? All right, I guess we can close the public hearing and make a motion to close the public hearing for Mr.
So-
Sanchez.
Do we have the updated actual dimensions that were okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not on the map.
So it's not a map.
It's in the,
Oh, it is in the map.
there's two of them, yeah, that one.
No, I don't think we should.
So the front one would be, the front one is. The 46 feet requested. Seems pedantic, but if it has two fronts, does it also have two rears?
No,
Nope.
How do you decide? which
Good
one's
question, but no.
they decide which one is which.
So, and then the right side, is it still 5 feet? It almost looked like it was, so it's, so the right setback is, do you know what the right setback?
Right setback is like 35 feet right now.
It's 35 feet, and looking maybe 50, so maybe 15-foot variance.
Oh, I'm sorry, I mean the left side, the left side.
On the left side, it's 25 feet.
Which doesn't need a variance that part.
Okay, that was what. Okay. Okay.
Sorry. I'll make a motion to close the public hearing for Mr. Sanchez's
I just,
variance.
2 seconds.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Yeah, I guess we're gonna vote on it. I think we can. Everybody's agree?
Thank you, guys.
Well, you close the public hearing, you vote to approve, you have to vote to approve the, are you voting to approve variances?
Yeah,
that's what we were just discussing, if we were gonna vote tonight, I think.
Oh, okay, sorry.
All set?
Okay,
Well, yeah, we.
They haven't voted yet.
they haven't voted yet.
you can leave if you want. but-
No, man, no, listen.
Yeah.
The property doesn't start for us.
Okay. Just wanted to make
Probably
You can sit down.
All right, thanks.
It's not a short process, it's not like other festivals.
Yeah, you know,
Well, shake hands.
Yeah, that's what it's doing.
So,
I was trying. I gotta know what's going on.
so before we do, so we should make a motion, right?
All right, I'll make a motion to approve the variance for 4 William Street, Mr. Sanchez.
Says,
I have a vote.
So, what we just said, right? So we'll make a motion to approve the variance to allow a front setback 46 feet along the Williams Street direction, where 50 feet is required. And to make a rear
You
setback.
want to just read that stuff? The initial proposal, it's all on there.
Well, we did the thing on the paper there.
Everybody's clear on what we're voting on.
You're gonna end up needing is what, 15 on the right side, right? Nothing on the left side. And then it was 4
4 feet in the back,
4 feet in the back,
and 5 feet in the front.
yeah. So it was small on those two sides.
Just read that.
Is that clear to everybody?
Which one of these is the
So there's
accurate one?
this
one, I
one.
The
think.
new one you had up there.
This one.
Yeah, that's why I was trying
With
to.
all the notes. Yeah.
Make more clear.
Yeah, what were you saying, Paul? Yeah, go ahead.
So, yeah, so I'm just gonna say, so we've got, make a motion to approve, the requested variance to allow a front setback along Williams Street of 46 feet where 50 is required. And to approve a second front setback along Stanton, what do they call it, Stanton Avenue?
Stand down.
To allow 20 feet? What is it?
20.
To allow a setback of 30 feet where 50 is required, right?
It's 35.
35
by
feet.
15.
To allow
Yeah.
35.
35 feet.
So we don't need a setback on the lot, right?
Well, on the left, we don't.
The tree, that's a second front yard, so it's 35 instead of 50.
Stanton Avenue is a street, then
Yeah, right.
it's a front.
Right. Yeah, on one side we did, the other side we did. That's why we had to move it 5 feet towards the left, so that it would be a lesser of a variance. That's-
Yeah, it sounded like the left side didn't need a variance.
No, the left side did not, so we moved it. It had more, so to give the right side more room, unless the variance, we moved it to the left. That's what the new map show.
Right up to the minimum on the left.
Yes. So the minimum on the left, less the variance on the right.
So just to summarize, 46 feet off of William Street, 35 feet off of Stanton Street, 46 feet off the rear, and 25 feet off the left.
46 off Williams.
35 off Stanton,
Mhm.
which is also a front.
Mhm.
46 off the rear,
Mhm.
so all of those 50 is required.
Mhm.
And the last one,
Mhm.
nothing off the left.
Oh,
So
that's
so it's
fine.
25 feet per 25 is required. So
Mhm.
For the last time, I'm gonna make a motion to approve a variance to allow those dimensions, 46 feet off of William Street where 50 is required, 35 feet off of Stanton Street where 50 is required, and 46 feet off of the rear where 50 is required.
I'll second your motion.
All in favor?
Just have one of those.
She should.
Do you have the variance sheets?
Do you have more of these?
Oh, are they right in the back of your pile? No? I don't think so. I do too. Actually, do you have a pen?
Can I start? You know,
That's fine, you can start.
I'm not gonna be able to read these.
I can read it.
So, go ahead. Now you can use my.
Whether undesirable change would be produced in character of neighborhood or detriment to nearby properties. I voted no. Proposed structure fits into neighborhood construct. Whether benefits sought by applicant can be achieved by a feasible alternative to the variance. I said no. I said existing lot of record, undersized. Whether the requested variance is substantial. Yes, the right side variance is 15 feet. Would the variance have an adverse impact on the physical or environmental conditions in the neighborhood? No. Conventional residential structure is going to be constructed. Whether the alleged difficulty was self-created, I voted no. Existing lot is a grandfathered lot, does not meet code. So my vote is yes.
Whether undesirable change will be produced in the character of the neighborhood or detriment to nearby properties, I voted no. The house would fit into the center of the lot and mesh with the character of the neighborhood. Number two, whether the benefits sought by the applicant can be achieved by a feasible alternative. Said no, this is a grandfathered lot of record and any placement of a house will require some variance. Whether the requested variance is substantial, yes, I think the second side setback or the second front setback off of Stanton Road is substantial, but the other two are not. Would the variance have an adverse impact on the physical or environmental conditions in the neighborhood? No, I don't think it will have any physical or environmental impact. And whether the alleged difficulty is self-created, I said yes. Applicant purchased the lot undersized for every bill was grandfathered. So I voted yes to approve the variance.
Were there undesirable changes would be produced in the character of the neighborhood or detriment to the nearby properties? I said nope. There was a house on the property previously. Whether benefits sought by applicant can be achieved by a feasible alternative to the variance, I said no. This is the size of the previous lot, which also had a house on the site. Whether the request variance is substantial, I said yes. 46 feet off the rear setback, where it was 50, and then 35 were off the stand, which was also near 50, and then 46 off the rear, which we also required the 50. Would the variance have adverse impact on the physical or environmental conditions in the neighborhood? I said no, because there was a previous house on the site. Whether the alleged difficulty was self-created, I said no. Owns lot, house grandfathered in, does not meet current code. And I voted yes.
All right, so for one, whether undesirable change would be produced in character of neighborhood or a detriment to nearby properties, I voted no. Applicant intends to build the house to fit with the current character of the neighborhood. Two, whether benefits sought by applicant can be achieved by a feasible alternative to the variance, I voted no. The lot size does not allow current setbacks set by code to be achieved for current house plans. Whether the requested variance is substantial, I said yes, though most of the setback changes are minimal. One setback change for the right side, for the front side, is a 15 feet difference to the current code. 4, would the variance have an adverse impact on the physical or environmental conditions in the neighborhood? I said no, the applicant will build the home to fit with the current neighborhood character, and I do not think that there would be an adverse environmental impact to granting this variance. And 5, whether the alleged difficulty was self-created. I said yes, the home size was chosen to be built outside of current lot setback requirements, but I vote yes on this variance.
The variance is approved.
Now, thank you.
On that front,
There was an awful lot of silence up there.
Hey, George.
And go Broncos, come on. Have a great night, guys. Appreciate it.
So if you want to pass the sheets that night.
Just as a member, just one of the members.
So we don't have to close this.
No, just, I'll check the wrong box. This one. Yeah, that one should be on top.
All right, we have a second public hearing for April Dennis. Need a motion?
Definitely need a motion to close it, motion to open it is up to you.
Can I have a motion to open the public hearing for April Dennis?
I'll make a motion.
Second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
If we want to present what you're doing.
I do believe, Stephanie gave you the updated map. Placement of the shed. Just asking for a variance for the shed to be placed in the front yard on the side. Due to
It's in the back.
Yeah, I just can't stop it.
I don't need a building permit because it's only 12 by 12, so I'm just looking for the variance because it is on the front line, but it is way to the side and about 80 feet off the road.
Do we have any questions, comments, concerns?
It's 8 feet off the street. Is that right?
Yeah, is
80
there
feet off
something
the street?
I can help you with? Yep. Yep, about 80 feet off the road. Yep. So the reason I'm putting it here, obviously, is because the house is here, I can't put it here, my septic is here. This is a stream that's back here in the back that goes to the wetlands, excuse me. So this kind of slants down like this is a hill, and then I don't want to be involved in going across the stream. So really the only other alternative is right there.
Anybody else have any questions? Nothing? So what division of the code is this violating? Well, accessory structures. Side or
What
rear.
number is it?
So the dimensional table,
What's that?
the dimensional table, accessory structure.
Oh, it actually says it in there?
I think so. I could double check. Go from memory.
Stephanie, I need to get those tables. I don't have them.
This we can't really show these in the setback. ones.
So if you got some issues back here, though.
I didn't find it.
Oh, it's not on the east side, from.
Evidently, it's gonna something to do with your service due to the house.
Yes, well, so, because obviously that's where the wetlands is and where the pole is we had National Grid come out. So what we're gonna do is go overhead to the shed, so we're not digging in the wetlands area or getting anything in there. And then we go underground, we'll backfeed the house underground from the shed
From the shed
to the house underground.
Did you apply for a building permit and,
I have a building permit, yes,
I mean,
for the shed or for the house.
For the shed.
There is no building permit because it's 12 by 12,
144 feet.
but I do have a building permit for the house, yes.
But Tracy must have sent her.
Right, yeah, I'm just trying to figure it out.
I'm not sure how to fill these in.
It's because the shed is in front.
Yeah, that's why it's the shed's in the front.
Front,
The
not
shed's supposed to be in the rear of the house.
Right, I'm just wondering what it says, that's all. Okay.
Yeah, it's a little unusual because there's no house for sale right now. It's just a shed for the foundation stuff. So,
Foundation going in April, we just don't want to do it in the winter, we're cold.
a pretty rough number, you're probably almost 60 feet over behind the shed,
That's restructured.
from the shed.
To the house.
To the house.
That could
At
be.
least,
I mean, we overdug it pretty big too, so I don't know.
Yeah, couldn't.
You know, You see what the step footing is, that's the front of the house. I don't know, I have updated plans here if you guys want to see what the front of the house, what the house looks like. I don't know if that helps your mind
No,
or.
I'm just trying to figure out what provision of the code that violates.
Okay, I was told because it's gonna be in the front of the house and not on the rear, so.
I understand. I don't know where it says that.
Definition of accessory structure.
So it's actually the definitions that you would have to look to find the violation or the need for the variance. It's the front yard. The front yard is the space between the principal building and the road. And the definition of yard says that it has to be empty, basically. So that's how you get there. Took me a minute. It is a puzzle, and I've done this before, but I had to remember how. I mean, Tracy didn't ask, but he does know.
No, it kind of rung a bell. But I couldn't-
It is a roundabout way, but the yard has to be empty. The yard is defined as the space between the building and the road. And the yard, yeah, and the definition of the yard is that it's an open space. Right,
It just says empty, it doesn't say.
On the inside of the rear yards.
right. Unoccupied and fully open to the sky. So the front yard has to be empty, basically. You can't have anything in the front yard
Nothing else.
unless you get a variance. No structures. No structures. You can have it.
It's very vague.
It's not unusual, although I don't know if it's necessary. You want to amend it when you update the code? That would be fine with me. But it is, people expect their front houses to look a certain way. They don't want people's sheds sitting in the front yard. Same reason when people want a pool in the front yard, they don't want to sit. It's a policy.
I'm gonna go ahead and dispute that because in that case, you couldn't have the accessory structure anyway. It's an open space on the same lot, parcel of land with a building or building group lying between the closest point of the front, rear, or side wall of the building and the nearest lot line. The nearest lot.
I didn't interpret the code, just now Tracy did. I gave you the closest.
I'm probably figure out that I'm willing to grant this variance, but it's just, I think the variance at all. I will, is there any other comment from the public?
Make a motion to close the public hearing. Second, all in favor?
Aye.
motion to approve the variance?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
But that's my problem in school. What do we have the definition?
Well,
You're right, the way your current code is written, you should be approving every single accessory structure.
The address is in Poestenkill, right?
It's,
Is this,
it's in the town post, but mailing address is Eagle Park.
it is. Oh, okay.
Yes?
Yep.
Other undesirable change would be producing character of neighborhood or detriment to nearby properties. No. Shed exceeds front setback requirements, but the benefits of by applicant can be achieved by a feasible alternative to the variance. I said no, because of difficulties in the rear and side yard with wetland, whether the requested variance is substantial, yes. As where the house is proposed, it extends a considerable distance into the front yard. Would the variance have an adverse impact on the physical or environmental conditions in the neighborhood? I said no, it's a simple storage shed. And whether the alleged difficulty was self-created, I said yes. The owner chose front yard location as the best scenario. So my vote is a yes for the variance.
Whether undesirable change would be produced in the character of the neighborhood, I said no. The shed will have a significant 80-foot setback from the front and will produce a change in the character of the neighborhood. Whether the benefits sought by the applicant can be achieved by a feasible alternative, I said no. The applicant considered numerous other locations which are not suitable. Whether the requested variance is substantial, I said no. If the variance have an adverse impact on the physical or environmental conditions in the neighborhood, no, there should be no physical or environmental impact. And whether the alleged difficulty was self-created, I said yes. The shed is a desired, not required feature. But I vote yes in favor of the variance.
Whether the undesirable changes would be produced in the character of the neighborhood or detriment to nearby properties, I said no. Shed is 80 feet from the road. Whether the benefits sought by the applicant can be achieved by a feasible alternative to the variance, I said no. Placement of the house, septic and leach field and wetlands, only place for the shed. Whether the request of the variance is substantial, I said no. The applicant does not need the shed, but can place the shed on the side yard. Would the variance have an adverse impact on the physical or environmental conditions in the neighborhood? I said no. Will not, in the summer, the shed will not be seen by the coverage of the trees. Whether the alleged difficulty was self-created, yes. Does not need the shed, but it is used for storage. And I said yes, I'm in favor of the variance.
Whether undesirable change would be produced in character of the neighborhood, I said no. The shed will be offset from the road 80 feet and placed to the side of the property that will be difficult to see when the leaves are on the trees. Whether benefits sought by applicant can be achieved by a feasible alternative, I said no. Due to the lot wetlands and placement of septic, there is no other reasonable place to build the shed. Whether the requested variance is substantial, I said no. The code states that front yard should be emptied, but proposed shed is not significant in size that would require even a building permit. Would the variance have an adverse impact on the physical environment? I said no. Addition of the shed to the property would not significantly or adversely impact the physical or environmental conditions of the neighborhood. Whether the alleged difficulty was self-created, I said yes. The property owner chooses to build a shed where one may not be necessary. I vote to approve the variance.
Very good. The variance is approved.
Oh, there's one more definition. It works. Sorry. Building line.
Okay.
Check building line together with yard and front yard.
Okay.
And then go to 115 and exempts the sides and rear for accessory structures. It's a good question though.
Ordinance regulation beyond which no person building including that's expressly permitted within.
So that would, then you put the yards together and say no accessory structures in any of them, and then if you go to 115, it says, but you can put them in the side rear yards. So it's not as bad as it could be. Yeah. Had to be something.
Well, is there anything else?
Are we going to still keep our meetings on Thursday, going for the new year?
That's my understanding, yeah.
Okay.
That works for you, so.
So we'll do.
For me, I'm same invitation that I did at the beginning of the year. Tuesday would also be okay. Thursdays.
Works for everyone?
Yeah.
All right.
And are we, this is still a work in progress, we can still add to this?
Well, I'd like your input. Like I said, if you have any additions or you think we have to address anything, or if you think something won't work, we can,
When would you like to bring it to the board? So that we know when to have.
I'll reach out to all of you if you have any issues. I'd like to get it in front of the board meeting by January.
Oh, okay.
There's no time set, but he said we can come to a consensus of what we want to do here. We'll submit it.
So white fences are not allowed? There's that like neutral.
See, yeah, I think that falls under neutral. But it's open to interpretation, which is what I don't like about it. That's why I'll read through it and see if I can put
Yeah, me too.
some language, because we also had a discussion around the fencing material and what agricultural is defined as.
And this is, Lawrence, this is also where we can put in how far it should be set back. So if it's not like right on the property line, we can make the suggestion that maybe it should be back like, 2 feet off the property line,
You can certainly make any recommendation.
Okay.
That's- Yeah,
Okay,
it's all within the
Okay.
town's power to change.
yeah,
I'm in favor actually of that 2-foot setback around. I think it's a good idea.
Yeah.
Just for maintenance.
yes, exactly. Because you're not walking on the neighbor's property to
Exactly.
maintain your fence.
Yeah, but I get worried about having a lot of fences going up to each other. Now you have 2 feet of space in between everybody's fences that somebody has to maintain. Which creates other
Unless you're digging
issues.
holes, the ground is gonna be weaker.
So you'll have like 4-foot
Well, 4-foot alleys.
4-foot alleys in between everybody's property fences, which is not necessarily going to be maintained.
Well, I haven't seen that situation actually rise too often. But I suppose you're
could.
right, if they could, if they're.
If you require
And they
it,
could,
it
but
will.
again, that would be a situation where for maintenance, he would be on his property. Now, if you insist upon, I want to put up a fence too, then certainly you're right, and you have your 2 feet to maintain it. It's not a, again, I haven't really come across any situation like that. And I don't like the idea of having a fence right there and your neighbors on your property mowing and picking and doing whatever he wants to do to maintain it.
I go back to thinking about when we did the variance for the garage up on Abbott. And like when Kevin brought up, when we had to move the garage because if he was gonna be working on the roof, at that time, the neighbor said, oh, it's okay if you put your ladder in my yard. But when you had brought up, okay, say he sells that house, now if he has to get up there, maybe the new neighbor doesn't want him putting the ladder in his yard. So we're kind of the same thing with the fence too. If he's got to paint it or stain it or whatever, now he's standing on the other person's property while he's painting and staining it.
So if they're 0 feet apart, how do you do that? You still have, somehow have to hold the fence separates back up against somebody else's fence.
Right now, yeah.
I'm not sure if there's one of those is better than the other. It's bad to me.
But if the current code just states that there's a front yard setback, there is no.
Just a
side
2 foot
yard.
on the front.
Yeah, okay.
Hopefully the neighbor would want you to maintain the fence, because that's what they're looking at. So they'd let you walk on their property because you're making the fence that they're staring at pretty. Hopefully they get together and build best for two nice sides and live happily ever after. I understand that's not always the case. And evidence that that's not always the case.
What could possibly go wrong?
So we're not trying to take any action on it, we'll,
I don't know, I'll push it off till next meeting. Then we push it off to the town board following month. I mean, like, just so get it right.
Okay.
All right, we'll just send you our input.
Just very quickly, that last one on the signage, I thought was a good idea.
Only on front, not side.
Only on the
right?
front, but nothing on the side or rear.
Can I propose that we send you our ideas and then we meet in January? More than likely, January is would be a quiet month.
That's all not a bad
And
idea.
we can meet to finalize it before submitting it to the board, which would probably then be February. If we meet out.
Or if everybody's in agreement, we just
Yeah.
forward it to the board.
You can just forward it, we don't have to actually meet.
I don't
At
think
board
we got to
meeting.
vote on, do it.
No, this is all just a recommendation, the town board's decision. So you're helping the town board come to a decision on what they might or might not approve.
So we kind of plan that January, that'll be on the agenda for us, and we'll definitely have a meeting.
Well, if that's the only thing on the agenda,
You want to send it to the board before that, right?
well,
In for January, so
it's not really pressing. If we have if we do have an agenda on, in January, we'll simply wait till then and forward it right to the board. If we don't, then, like I said, if everybody's in agreement, I can simply bring it to the board meeting.
I have nothing right now. And if that's the case, somebody will have to put the package together because I don't come back until the 6th. I'm going from the 26th to the 6th.
but I think we can do it by email to you, you know?
If we disagree with what is being proposed, then we're gonna have a lot of emails going back and forth.
I lost that page. I just looked at it. Yeah. Yeah, nice one.
Well, you were going, last meeting, you and I were going back and forth a little bit with it, but you did refer to the fencing regulations in the agriculture zones, where there's set distances for anything agricultural from property lines, residential homes, anything like that. That would come into play for anything that was agriculture. And
Yeah, I said I was gonna look a little deeper into it, and I haven't had an opportunity to do so.
Yeah.
But I think that part needs to be tweaked a little bit.
No, whatever ideas you come up with, we'll certainly play a month or so to play around with it. Rather have it right than, get something in there that's gonna give us problems down the road.
So if nothing else comes to the agenda for January, we'll just email you our suggestions.
If you want to email me and the board,
Okay.
with any ideas. Like I said, we can push it off and get together and have a consensus what we want to do.
Okay.
Okay.
Anything else? I have a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.
Have a Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
When are you gonna do?
Try
the 5th, that's my.
No.